I'm Jennifer Tarnay with the Hawaii and Pacific Deafblind Project, also with the CSC, and I'm going to be presenting for you today. That is not lined up. And I have the rest of my Hawaii and Pacific Deafblind Project team here with me, and I'm going to let them all introduce themselves. So I'm going to popcorn it over to Melanie so she can say her hellos.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Melanie Lee, and it's great to be here and see everybody. I'm excited, and please stay on for the end because we're going to be sending a link for the evaluation. Of course, you know that's important for us. So that will be at the end. But good to see everybody. Thanks, Jan.
Ginger, do you mind saying hello? Because I don't know if everybody knows you as the newest addition to our team, but I'd love for them to know you.
Aloha. Hi, I'm Ginger Knowles. I am your family support specialist. It's good seeing everyone.
And then somewhere in another window is Miss Roz Kia. You want to say hello?
Hi, I'm Roz. It's really nice to be here and to meet all of you. Thank you for coming.
All right. So that is the Hawaii and Pacific Deaf-Blind Project team. So sometimes you might get emails from all of us, from one of us. You'll see all of our names in the newsletters. And we all, over the course of this 7 Senses series, will be contributing different areas of our own expertise and experience to the series. So I'm ready to get started. Are you guys ready? All right. So I'm not sure if you folks were able to join us for the very first workshop we did that was an introduction to the 7 senses. We do have that recorded and that is accessible if you missed it and you wanted to watch it. It was just a brief overview of all of the senses that we have. So sight, sound, smell, taste, hearing, proprioception, and interoception. I'm missing one. We'll figure it out along the way. So today we're going to talk about vestibular system. Thank you. That's an important one too. How did I miss it? The vestibular system. There was 8. So today we're going to talk specifically about the gustatory system, which is a fancy word for taste. Our gustatory system actually involves chemical receptors on our tongues. I mean, I think you probably all saw the flyer that went out. There's different parts of our tongue that are responsible for different tastes. So salty, sweet, sour, and all those chemical receptors that are on our tongue work alongside with our olfactory system, which is our sense of smell, to provide us with information about different tastes. Now, this is important not only because food is good and we like good food and to taste things that are yummy, but also because it helps us to know if things are dangerous or not. Those two senses work together to let us know perhaps if something smells really bad, like bleach, maybe we shouldn't put that in our mouth. I need to move this. There we go. It lets us know if there's danger nearby, right? If we smell a fire nearby, we know that there's something that's dangerous. Our sense of taste does the same thing. As babies are growing and learning and exploring, they often put things in their mouths to learn more about them, right? So it's a very important system for growing and learning and developing. Interesting thing about taste as well is that it can actually really impact our behaviors and our moods sometimes, right? So we're going to talk more about foods and how that comes into play later. In our first meeting, we talked specifically about individuals that have sensory processing struggles specific to taste and what that looks like. We talked about children who have a hyposensitivity, meaning that they need more, right? They need to get more input in that sense. And so what we see is that kids are constantly putting things in their mouth, not necessarily food. It can be anything that's near them, right? It might even be their shirt, right? Their fingers, their hands. At meal times, you might see those kiddos just stuffing everything in their mouth because they get feedback from filling their cheeks. They tend to like extreme flavors, right? When we have kids that like really spicy foods or extra salty foods, that's kind of atypical. So we'll see our kids with hyposensitivity in the sense of taste, eating very spicy, extreme flavors. We might see them licking or tasting or smelling everything. I had a student a few years back when he first started school. He had a hyposensitivity of his taste sense, and he explored the classroom by licking everything with his tongue, the walls, the chair, the floors. As you can imagine, it's not entirely sanitary. It's not healthy for anybody. So we need to find other ways to help support that need, right? That explorative need that they have that keeps them safe and keeps their peers safe as well. Particularly the peeling paint. That was something we were really worried about. Don't want kids eating the peeling paint. We also see kids that may salivate or they drool excessively. When young kids are just having their teeth break through the surface, we see a lot of teething and we see a lot of saliva, and that's typical. But once their teeth are in, if we have kiddos that have excess saliva or drool, and it's not a child who has cerebral palsy or some sort of weak muscle tone, like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, we see some drooling or salivating. But if the child is otherwise muscularly toned and within typical limits, and we see salivating, it could be due to this hyposensitivity of taste. So what do we do? What do we do when we have these kids that are hyposensitive? Well, we help them by giving them things to put in their mouth that is appropriate. It's safe for them. We let them have objects that they know this thing is mine and I can put this in my mouth and it's safe and appropriate and it will help to support that need to chew and explore. One of the things that we talk about often is jewelry. It's a nice play on the word of jewelry. Jewelry can be necklaces, pendants. These are all pendants on the screen. They do make bracelets. I have seen rings, but typically we see pendants and necklaces. And those are made of a safe, non-toxic, very durable silicone where the kids can pick them up, chew on them, explore them in their cheeks, suck on them. They're easy to clean. They come in different densities. So some are harder than others because some kids, when they have all their teeth, they want that chewing experience. So sometimes you might want a harder one. These have been beneficial to all types of children with sensory struggles, teens and adults as well. So sensory processing disorder, children with autism that have sensory processing disorder are where we often see these. They come in a variety of colors, a variety of styles and shapes. Like I said, the different textures and resistances. I'll have to Google how we say that one. And they can be cute and unicorns for girls, or they can be baseball bats for boys, all different kinds. The mouth itself is made up of joints and muscles that receive that input in addition to the tactile input. And so many of the children that we're talking about will chew in order to get that stimulation in their mouth. And that helps them to calm down. The nice thing about jewelry is that it's on their body all the time. So whenever they need it, they can grab it. And so it decreases the chance that they're going to pick up a pen. This is actually a camera, but it decreases the likelihood that they're going to chew on things that we don't want them chewing on because they know it's easy access. It's always on them. There's a lot of parents, excuse me, parents, service providers that try to eliminate this behavior altogether. We don't want my child chewing on things. But when we're able to redirect this behavior instead of eliminate it altogether, it helps to support the child and their needs, and also helps the parents and the rest of the peers to feel more comfortable, which in turn helps that child feel more comfortable as well. So if ever you have a child chewing on something and you have the Chulery present, we always just redirect to that. The question I'm sure you were thinking of is, where do I get it? Right? Great, Jennifer, you told us about Chulery. Well, now what do I do with that information? Okay. There is a number of places you can get it online. It is well priced. It is not, does not have to be expensive. I think on Amazon, if you put in the word Chulery, you'll find usually, like how this picture has 4 pieces, you'll usually find a package of multiple items for between $10 and $15, I'd say. If you want real fancy stuff, it can get more expensive, of course, but it doesn't have to be. There's also some links here for different shops that you can find them. And you can also make your own. You can make your own. As long as you find food grade silicone, you can make your own. There are kits that are available online also that you can put beads together and you can have the kids make it with you. There are food grade silicone you can find. If you can't find Chulery or cute beads, you might be able to find a spatula, a silicone spatula that's used for cooking. The end of that spatula can be used for kids to chew on, and it's safe. There are cupcake holders, some of them that are silicone, that you can use those. As long as the edges are nice and clean and they're not going to be able to bite through it and risk swallowing it. That's the one thing we worry about. It needs to be strong enough that they're not going to chew it and risk swallowing it. All right. What else can we do to support our kiddos that have that hyposensitivity to taste? In addition to chewing, encouraging different oral motor games is very helpful for them. So what that looks like are blowing bubbles. In that first picture, we're blowing bubbles on a cookie sheet, right? We took water and dish soap, mixed it up on the cookie sheet, and they're using a straw to blow bubbles. And that will help encourage and support that need to do stuff with their mouth. And it's appropriate, right? Second picture, we know regular bubbles with a wand that you can blow. Not everybody has those. And the third picture is probably the most easily accessible, which is just a straw inside a cup of water. So allowing the child to explore this blowing activity prior to mealtime can really, really help them to calm down. And it can help them to be ready to then explore foods as well. So blowing bubbles is another fun one. It can be incorporated throughout the day. It is a great one to do in school with their peers because their peers, I'm sure, like to blow bubbles as well. So it serves a purpose that everybody enjoys, right? When it comes to foods and children or individuals who are hyposensitive to taste, crunchy foods are the way to go. We encourage eating of crunchy foods. Thankfully, many crunchy foods also happen to be healthy foods, right? Carrots, apples, celery, crackers, ice cubes. Ice cubes are another one that's a crunchy food. It's not food. crunchy, that is edible, that will help support that needing to bite and chew on things. So that is all of our kiddos that are hyposensitive, right? We're going to talk a little bit about our hypersensitive kids. And I'm sure all of you know a child who has a hypersensitivity to taste. What that looks like are kiddos that gag easily, sometimes just at the thought of a certain food. Maybe they're fearful of foods. They don't like their foods on their plate to mix or touch, or maybe they don't even like to have different textured foods in their mouth at the same time. They can have difficulty with those food textures and even varying temperatures. You know, maybe they don't like their food very hot, or they don't like their food very cold, or maybe they do like it very cold, right? They tend to be labeled as fussy eaters or picky eaters, is what we hear them called often. And they also tend to not like having their teeth brushed. Now, toothbrushing is not the easiest thing for all kids in general. We have some exciting videos that are going to be coming out about toothbrushing in the coming weeks that we hope to share with you. So stay out, looking out for those. And we have some other things that we're going to talk about here for how we can help with kids that don't like having their teeth brushed. Okay, so what do we do when we have these kids? What are some of the activities that we can do? Well, more oral stimulation exercises, more and more oral stimulation exercises. You may hear it called non-nutritive stimulation protocols, meaning that we're going to put stuff in the mouth and it does not serve a purpose of providing nutrition to the individual at all. Okay, I have a giant list here. I'm just going to kind of talk on them. And then when we send this out, you'll have this giant list of activities that you can try. So our slide shows some of the things that we can use. Mirrors are wonderful for playing with kids. They can explore their mouths, have them open and close their mouth while looking in the mirror, moving their tongue all over. Sometimes taking, if they do tolerate foods, taking a little chocolate syrup or peanut butter and sticking it on the outsides of their mouth so they have to try and reach it, right? And being able to see themselves in a mirror or any kind of reflective surface helps give them that feedback, right? The second picture here is actually a vibrating oral stim device. So there's all different, I wonder if I can zoom in. I can. There's all different textured pieces right here that can be placed on top of this stick that vibrate, right? And so that stimulates everything inside of their mouth, kind of wakes up all the muscles and everything in their mouth. And the different textures provide different feedbacks for the child. Again, there's that jewelry that's there, so it can be used for either under or over stimulated, so hypo or hypersensitive individuals. This here is another type of toothbrush, just to play with and put inside, massage on the inside of the cheeks, on the tongue. And then in the middle, a bunch of kazoos, so more of that blowing. And the thing with the kazoo, which I'm actually really bad at blowing the kazoo. I don't know what I do wrong, but it's supposed to have a little bit of vibration that goes when you blow it. A lot of times there's a paper in there. So they get the blowing coupled with the vibration that they feel on their lips, provides them with some feedback. And then chapstick. Chapstick's a nice, easy one. There's different flavor, different scented chapsticks that are out there that kids might like. And so that's also with the scented ones, it stimulates their olfactory, their sense. I'm going to look at my list here, see what else we have. mirrors. Doing song time when we sing to our kids, singing and tapping, right? The same time. So we're stimulating, but gently on the different parts of their mouth and their face. Making funny faces at each other or in the mirror. Fish lips, right? And just playing with the muscles in the face. Puffing up your cheeks, along with the funny faces. Whispering the sounds of the alphabet, right? Or just singing the alphabet. Singing in general also is another way to really move the mouth around. Popsicles or ice pops or ice cakes. Any kind of cold or hot stimulates the oral senses as well. So I think my list is like 50 different ones. So I will make sure you all get that. Activities you can do with your kiddos to help stimulate and give them the feedback they need. Another thing we can do with these kids is sensory food play activities. So we've seen bins that have sand. We've seen bins that have rice, beans that we can play with, the sensory bins. We can also do sensory play with food, right? So pasta, letting the kids touch the pasta before they get to eat it. If you're making spaghetti or if you're making macaroni, letting them, with clean hands, letting them kind of explore that food before they get to eat it, right? Desensitizes them. Having plates like on this is my right side. I'm not sure what side it shows up for you, but having plates that have sections in it, right? To separate the foods. Sometimes just that is enough to help a kid feel better about what's going on and what's going to happen when they put the foods in their mouth. They know that the foods are never going to touch. And so they're never going to be overwhelmed when those foods go in their mouth because they know exactly what they're getting. It also helps to avoid any pressure. You can take a plate like that and just put one thing on it. Sometimes having too many options of food can be overwhelming for that child that has sensitivity to taste. So maybe just giving them one thing at a time. And then music. We're not talking about our sense of hearing today, but sometimes our senses overlap, right? So having comforting, calm music, having their favorite song. If they love it when mom sings or they love it when teacher sings, singing during, sitting down to have mealtime because it'll help calm them down. And so they don't have that anxiety of, oh, there's these things that are going to go in my mouth and I don't want to do it. They have a comforting thing that's present there for them to help prepare them to move into that next moment of eating. Which brings me to eating. We doing good out there? I can still see some of you guys. I'm gonna go over this side. Okay. All right. So eating, this is probably the number one question that I get as a professional that works with children with sensory processing disorders, as a speech language pathologist, as somebody who specializes in feeding and swallowing. Eating, picky eating, disordered eating is probably the number one question that I get. How do I get my child to eat? What do I do? I'll give you an example. I have a patient here, a little boy who's super cute, super sweet, very bright, has some sensory struggles, has some pretty severe sensory struggles. He's on point, grade level, all those things, developmentally doing great. When he is in his house with his family and the parents cook chicken and he smells the chicken, he will gag because he has this hypersensitive reflex to the sense of smell and subsequently taste, right? So his parents brought him to me and said, what do we do? Like, he has 3 foods. When I started working them with him, he had 3 foods that he would eat. He would eat McDonald's French fries, only McDonald's French fries. They tried French fries from other places, didn't matter. They tried making French fries, didn't matter, right? Only McDonald's French fries. He would eat, the ramen bowl, the noodle from inside there, but only dry and not with any flavor packets on it, just the noodle. And then he would eat the wheat bread that his grandmother would make. Those are the only 3 things they could get him to eat. Anytime they tried to feed him anything else, he would gag, he would cry, he would drool a lot, all of these things. And they were worried because he started not growing as much as he should. He started being undernourished, malnourished. And so they were really worried. They had tried hiding chicken inside his French fries or rolling up, making rolls of grandma's bread and hiding food inside there. And what ended up happening is he stopped eating those things because when he tried them and found out there Am I back? You guys can hear me? Okay. I don't even know where my AirPods are in my house. I don't know why it would start using those. So he stopped eating those safe foods. He completely stopped eating those safe foods. He had to go to the hospital and get some alternate nutrition because he was getting sick. So we started doing the sensory-based feeding therapy, and it's basically 6 steps to eating, right? So kids that have feeding disorders usually have less than 20 foods in their diet. We are lucky if they have 20 foods in their diet. And sometimes, like I said, it's very brand specific. It's only the French fry from that one place, or it's only the ramen that's in that one colored bag, right? Or it's only the Vienna sausage that is the low sodium Vienna sausage. So it's very specific. And if we try and give a different type of Vienna sausage, they're not going to touch it. So the first thing we do is to expose those kids. Here's our 6 steps. We're going to expose them. We just want them to be able to tolerate having a new food around them, that they can look at it, that it can be in the room, that it can be near them, that it can be on the table. And it's okay if we put that food there and the kid gags or starts salivating. That's okay. The goal is for them to sit there, have it be there, and just learn to be comfortable with it. And that could take a day. That could take a week. In the case with my little boy, it took us 6 weeks to be able to, mom and dad could cook and he could be present, right? For about a year, they would put him outside of the house if they were going to cook. So bringing him back in the house and saying, no, you have to be in the house when we cook, right? So just tolerating the physical presence is the very first step. Once the child can do that, we want them to interact with the food. They don't have to touch it. They don't have to taste it. They just have to interact with it. So we're going to talk about it, right? Maybe we're going to use a fork and we're going to poke it, right? Or we're going to scoop it. Or maybe we're just going to push it away from us. That is the second step, even just pushing that food away from us. The third step after they have interacted with the food is to be able to process and manage the smell or odor of it, right? So they do smell it from a distance, but now we want them to be able to they don't have to pick it up, but have it close to them where they're actively smelling what it is, right? Because there's a connection between our smell and taste. So we want them to smell it and be able to tolerate it. They might go back to gagging. You might see that's okay. It's okay. Gagging is a developmentally appropriate step when we're talking about feeding and swallowing. Gagging is a safe thing. Gagging is a person's way of protecting their airway. When you gag, not that I want you all to do it, but when you do, your airway is covered and nothing can get down there. It keeps them safe. Also, when you gag, anything that's in the back of your mouth is going to come forward. So it helps keep them safe. We don't need to worry about gagging as a bad thing. It's a little uncomfortable. And it's a little uncomfortable for other people to watch. But it is a step in the process that helps us get to the next step. So after we've been able to smell the odor of a food, and we're successfully doing that, the fourth step is to be able to touch the food with your fingers. First, usually it's fingers, and then our whole hands, so maybe picking it up. The body, sometimes we just need to touch it with another part of our body. And then we move to the face, and then the mouth, right? We don't have to eat it. We just need to touch it. Just need to touch it and tolerate that. After we're able to tolerate, and we move from out here to our chin, to our mouth. And after we can do that, I like to have my patients kiss their food because it's a natural thing that we do. They're comfortable. They know a kiss is just brief. So once my kiddos can kiss their food successfully, kiss it, put it down, then we move on to tasting. Now, I skipped over it. We might wonder, well, how do we get the kid to kiss it so they don't throw a tantrum? We do all of these things while having a positive reinforcer present. So what I did with my little boy was that he loved to bowl. Like he had little pins, wooden pins, and we had a small ball, and he loved to knock all the pins down. So when we would bowl and the food was there with us while we played a game, right? We got to the point where he would, when he was touching it with his face, he'd pick up the food and then he got to go throw the ball. Right? So he learned, okay, I can do this. I want to go throw my ball. Right? So we don't just sit there and go, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. We kiss it and then we move on to the positive thing that the child wants to do. The next thing is tasting. So that can be the tip of your tongue. It can be putting the whole thing in your mouth and spitting it out, right? It can be having a spoon and just touching it. It doesn't have to go in their mouth. If they're comfortable putting it in their mouth, that's okay. And the final step is I break up step 6 personally, depending on how the child's doing. Practice chewing and swallowing. I separate those two out. So now that we've tasted it, it can go in our mouth. We're going to chew. And I let my kiddos spit it out. Right? And if they have to spit it out, and eventually we work towards swallowing. Those are our 6 steps to eating. It's a lot of information. And I'm sure you're like, well, that doesn't help me. I want more. I want to see pictures. I want to see videos. And the good news is I have an amazing resource I want to share with you guys. Solid Starts is a company, a business, specifically focused on what's called child-led weaning of foods, baby-led weaning. They focus all on foods, eating, swallowing, and picky eating, whether it's picky eating because a child just has a limited amount of things they like to eat, whether it's what we identify as disordered eating, which is that sensory processing struggles of taste. Whatever the reason, the way that we address it is the same. And this website is fabulous. We're going to explore that in just a second. So, but this is their logo. They also do have an app So if you have a tablet or a phone, you can download the app. The app is free. But all the information that's in their app is also on their website. So you don't have to get the app. And this is just an example of how we can approach our kids that have some struggles eating. So if they're picky eaters, they say, you always have a safety food on their plate. You always have a food that we know the child likes. You know the child is going to eat successfully. And you don't have a ton of it, but you have it there as an option. And then we provide other foods that we want to encourage them to eat. And we do it in multiple ways. So this here is salmon, and it's salmon two ways. One, they made into a little patty, and one they kind of ground or flaked, made the fish flaky so that it's all loose. So it's visually different on the plate. And when they put it in their mouth, it will feel different. They did the same thing with an egg here, a hard-boiled egg. It's two different ways. So it looks very different. And then one is just the yolk and one has the white of the egg. And we know that those are two different textures as well. And I'm pickles, and I think those are beets. So this is just a sample of how you can introduce new foods when we are introducing new foods. I'm going to jump now to my website, which is somewhere in here. Too many things up. Okay. Here is, oh, I'm already on avocados. I was showing this to our team before we started. So this is the website of the Solid Starts website, solidstarts.com. And it has, you come over and you look at their database. You can search for foods by name, or you can go ahead and look through all their database of foods. And they have everything from all over the world in here. And it provides you the different information for how you can prepare it for a child based upon their age, what age that you can introduce that at, prep time, if it's a common allergy, talks about when you can feed it. But what I love most is they do have, look at these little guys eating whole strawberries. They're so little. One of the foundations of the child-led weaning is that we don't feed babies baby food. We feed them the same foods that you or I or any adult would eat. And we just feed it to them a little differently. We cut it up differently so it's safe for them. But there's no reason that babies have to have baby food, okay? So they have videos where you can watch how they explore. And when we introduce foods at young ages like this, it helps to expose those kids so those picky tendencies don't develop or have less likelihood of developing. Aren't they so cute? That one's what, 6-month-old little girl. Somewhere down here, they talk about the best way to cut different foods to keep them safe, to keep the baby safe so they're not choking hazards, right? And if you are on Instagram, Solid Starts is also on Instagram, and I would recommend you go follow them for the picky eating information or the troubled eating information, because they do have videos here and advice here specific to picky eaters. So as an example, like the 10 things that parents say that will worsen picky eating. And they have videos about that. Oh, that's too much. We don't want to tell our kids that. Telling them, oh, you won't like that. And these are recommendations that come from a team of pediatric nutritionists, of occupational therapists, of speech pathologists, of pediatricians. They've all come together to come up with this information that they want to share with the world. So there's a bunch of videos that they have specifically to picky eating and how we can help those kids who may be picky eaters to learn to eat and enjoy food better. They do have stuff about gagging, like we talked about. And then they have some just food specific stuff. We even have this little boy is actually the woman who's the founder. These videos of her own kids that ended up having very, very difficult feeding struggles. Great resource for you, for your families, to explore different activities, foods, ideas around taste, around exploring taste, and around helping our kids that have difficulties related to taste. So I have successfully just been a talking head for about 40 minutes. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if anybody has any questions. No questions. If anybody's watching this in a review, because I believe we're recording this, and you have questions, you are encouraged and welcomed to reach out to any one of us on the Deafblind Project. Somewhere in an email, I'm sure, is our contact information. We'll make sure that you get it, and you can email me, you can call me, you can Facebook message me, and I'd be happy to talk more with you about specific students, specific struggles that you have with the student or your child, and we can brainstorm and troubleshoot some ideas for how we can help you out. And that's all I got. Does Melanie or Roz or Ginger have anything?
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Olive. It's good to hear you.
Nobody has any questions? I'm surprised.
I just want to say something about the gagging. Huh, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me just, a lot of the teachers here, they're very scared when a child is gagging.
Mm-hmm.
They have this uncomfortable feeling of dealing with our students, especially when it's the feeding part. Most of our students are on the G2 feeding.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much of the students are being fed through their mouths. But when a child is experiencing the gagging, that's what I see in the teachers. They are still uncomfortable on how to handle students when they're like that.
Yeah.
I believe it's just saying that there's a lack of professional development trainings for these teachers, because now there's a lot of our teachers resigning at this point when everybody's on remote learning.
Yeah.
I just finished a Zoom meeting, and knowing that a number of our teachers are resigning, and say a couple of them are from the resource rooms, which this presentation will benefit them a lot. So that I just want to say that. I don't know about our other neighboring islands with the feeding, but that is what I experienced with our teachers here. They tend to step back. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the student when he's gagging. But now that I've found out, it's safe. It's a safe, it's not something bad. It's just like similar having a student looking at the screen so close. To the teachers, they're scared of that too. They're always saying that it's not good for the eyes, when actually, if that's how a student is going to be able to see things, just let the student be. So yeah, I just want to put that out, how it is here in American Samoa, what I experienced and what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Jen, for the presentation today. I am sorry. I don't know, something's wrong with my video. But yeah.
Because everybody's on the internet in Samoa. It's almost
Yeah.
luck. Everybody's at home.
Yes, yes. And everybody's remote learning and everybody's on the internet. And I think that the internet is really getting more worse than before. But thank you.
Yeah, well, we can, Olive, you and I can work on trying to set up, and I can do the training specific around feeding and gagging with some of those teachers. I'd be happy to do it.
I'd
I'm
be
here.
happy to. Yeah, they're doing trainings right now. They're asking that we do Zoom training for our parents, but I've been delivering supplies out to the parents. And at the same time, I do a one-on-one with the parents.
Right. Good. That's
For
great.
our very severe multiple disabled population, we really need to do that, Jen.
Mhm. Let's plan it. Let's plan it. I'll call you tomorrow. I'm here. I don't know if you know, or if you heard. I'm here.
You're still here?
I'm here. So let's do it.
And I'll do that. Jen,
Yeah, let's do
I'll get
it.
that going with Lani at the office.
Perfect. Perfect.
I love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, like Olive said, a lot of people, as an adult, when I gag, I get scared. I don't want to be sick. I know what that feels like because I'm past that point of it being developmentally appropriate. If I'm gagging, it's because there's something wrong. But in our kiddos, that's not the case. So it is a lack of awareness. It's a lack of awareness and understanding that it's a safe thing. So we should talk more about it. Anybody else? I do believe in our chat box, there is a link to a short little survey, right? You all know whenever we do these, we say, hey, can you please take our survey because we need to report back to the Fed so that we can keep our funding, so we can keep doing fun stuff with you guys. So if you can take a minute to fill out the survey, there's a spot in the survey that you can put down anything else you want to learn more about. If there's any questions you have, if there's an area of interest that it's like, hey, I want to know more about this, put it down. It helps us to know what we can plan future trainings and workshops around. It also helps us, maybe if it's super specific, we can go ahead and we'll reach out to you specifically and we can do some one-on-one conversations around your needs and your kiddos. I'll hang out for a little bit if anybody wants to ask any more questions. Otherwise, thank you all for joining and listening and letting me ramble. I look forward to seeing you guys in our next session, which is, Ginger, can you tell me the date?
Yes, May 26th.
May 26th, and we will be talking about
Site.
Oh, that's a good one. We got some good guests coming on. It's not going to be me talking. You guys will get somebody different on the next one. So we look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.